And I don't really break too easily, but I'm worth it, 'cause I'll slip into your dreams tonight. Oh, so give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind. Oh, so give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind.
Just watch me. Just watch me.
I got you wrapped around my finger, but don't you try to call me tomorrow. There's nothing personal in having a little fun. You'll wait and see if it's worth your while. Oh, so give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind.
Just watch me.
Give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind.
Just watch me. Just watch me. Just watch me.
Last night we had something. Tonight I'll be guessing, but I don't really have a case. You don't have to mention, you just like their attention. It's written all over your face. I don't wanna play the quiet type when I'm near you. Reading old messages on my phone every time I see you. Tell me, is this part of an act just to keep your image intact? If you think that strategy's smart, I'm not gonna defend my beating heart. Defend my beating heart. You knocked on my window and slept on my pillow, then said you had found your place. Not sure if I want this. You don't think that I notice. This isn't like giving you space. I don't wanna play the quiet type when I'm near you, pretending that I don't know who you are every time I see you. Tell me, is this part of an act just to keep your image intact? If you think that strategy's smart, I'm not gonna defend my beating heart. Defend
What's up, guys? Shawn here. Welcome to Tuesday Night Studios. Wait, no, that's not right. Welcome to Tuesday Night Studio Sessions. My name is Shawn. I'll be your host. Hopefully we're running in 1080 this week. Hopefully you can hear me. I've got a fan going down because my room is super hot right now. And I don't know why. I have a feeling that a lot of the stuff I'm running on my new computer is getting really, really hot. And I've got so many fans in there blowing all the heat out. It's just kind of heating my room. It's fall, so hopefully, we're getting into the colder months, so all that will be good. But what's up with you guys? Are y'all having a good week? I'm having an okay week. There's been some weird things going on in my life. Being a parent, being kind of an older person in this pandemic. A lot of things going on in my life. But let's see who's in the house. It says we've got one person watching. Brett Nunley came and wished me a happy stream, so I don't know if he's going to actually be here or not. But I see Brett Newman's in the house. Brett Newman says, I never would have thought GoPro would survive long enough to be GoPro 9. I thought they were toast at about GoPro 6 and after the Karma debacle. Yep. That's interesting. First of all, can you hear me? I think you can because the red light's on, but let me know if you can hear me or not. I'm trying to mix up the lighting. So, just trying to figure things out. I did a lot of rearranging this week. I almost have this half of the room the way I want it. That half of the room is just going to remain behind the curtain because it's a mess. It's a hot mess. So, yeah, we're going to talk about the GoPro 9 tonight. It is, I think it's got some really cool features. It's funny. We're going to go through the history of, I'm going to show... We're going to reminisce at some of the older heroes. Hopefully there'll be enough people in here that we can talk about what was the first GoPro we ever had. I think I had the original. Pretty sure I had the original. I know I had the Hero 2. But looking at these pictures, I'm pretty sure I had the Hero 1. But, yeah. It's going to be a pretty exciting night. The video quality that came out of the camera today before the firmware updates were amazing to me. I'd say it's on par with the Insta360 1-inch edition, but I'm really excited to... You said the volume's low? What's up, Steven Jones? Alright. I'm going to pump up the gain a little bit. Let me know if this is too loud. Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3. Let me know if that's too loud. I might have turned it down. I think I did. Let's try it right there. Check. Is that better? I turned the gain up. So that should have helped a little bit. Let me see if I can get my audio meter up here. Check. Check. We're good? Check. Alright. I think we're going to leave it there because that's... I still might change it. I'd like to put the microphone in front of me, but there's no room on my desk now. And I can't read your comments if the microphone's in front of the monitor and all that kind of stuff. And I'm trying to work around... I've got this huge 32-inch monitor in front of me, and you guys are up there. So maybe I'll put the comments... Maybe I'll put you guys there so you are right underneath the comments. So we'll see how that works. That way I'll at least be looking at the center of the screen. So I've got several little action cameras down there. I had another one I was going to put up there. Oh, there it is. Put that there. And where did... I just had my Max. I literally just charged the Max today. Not sure where I put my Max. Oh, there it is. Alright. We got a lot of GoPros back there. So we got Steven Drones here, we got Eat More Possum, and we got Brent Nunley possibly. So yeah, I thought it would be fun tonight just to go through through a lot of the different types of GoPros that have come around. I think it's interesting when different companies copy each other. I find it exciting. I don't understand how they can do it. I really don't. But maybe you can't copyright or patent a specific feature. Maybe, you know, maybe some things you're able to do. Just get away with it. I don't know. But Brent brought up an interesting topic. Karma drone. So we are going to put that up. That's a dinky image. So just talk amongst yourselves. Alright, that's a good one. I have that somewhere. Let me go check one more thing. I've got, if I can find it, that would be awesome. Nope. I thought it was right there, but it wasn't. So we're going to talk about those things. How was your guys' week? Last week was a little weird because I did my live stream on Monday night and the bandwidth was weird. Let me know if I'm choppy and blurry tonight. After last week, I hooked up a Cat 5, so I'm gonna check my bandwidth. Looks like I've got 75 megabits per second download. Oh, it went up to 82. So that's good. And then upload 55 megabits. So we should be screaming tonight. There should be no reason that this live stream can't handle 1080 video. So that's good. And in the upcoming weeks, I'm not going to test it during my live stream because I feel like that's pretty important to my channel. But I might do an extra live stream from the GoPro itself. So this is the 9. Fold the legs a little bit. So this is the 9. Cute little guy. And the 9 and the 8 have the ability to have webcam mode. So we're going to try that out as webcam mode. And then I'm also going to try it out live streaming straight from the app. I don't know how that's really going to work. I've tried that in the past with the 7. If you guys remember, I did a live stream in St. Louis and tried to get the live stream up and running from the GoPro camera. It did not work because of the type of network that was at the hotel that I was at. So that did not work at all. So I ended up just live streaming straight from, I think it was my Surface that I had. So yeah, Steven Drone. So that's one of the updates with the GoPro 9, with the GoPro Hero 9, is that it shoots in 5K. And it shoots 4K 60 frames per second, so I can do somewhat of a slow motion 4K with it. So that's pretty exciting. And then got a little furry critter walking under me. So some of the videos that are coming up, I'm going to compare the GoPro Hero 9 with the 1-inch edition on the Insta360 1R, because that shoots in 5.7K, I think, or 5.2K. I always get that mixed up. But anyway, it's a 5K-ish resolution. So we're going to compare those. And then I'm also going to compare the 7 and the 8. If you don't need the 8 and the 9. If you don't need 5K resolution, this camera might not be the best for you. If you only need like 1080, then you can save money and get last year's edition. The 8 was one of the best action cameras out there 2 weeks ago. Okay, so still an excellent choice. A lot of the goodness that is in the 9 is in the 8, but I'm going to talk about some of my frustrations too. Since the 9 has 5K video, it requires a bigger sensor and it requires a bigger battery. So they've made the camera a little bit bigger. So the media mod that took a year to get to me, like I literally just got it maybe a month or 2 ago, all of a sudden is obsolete and goes with my 7 camera. So we might turn the 7 into a webcam, and because if I'm just streaming in 1080, the GoPro might be good enough to stream from. I know the quality of this lens and the quality of this camcorder, makes me look better than I am. Makes me look pretty, but yeah, we're gonna test it out as a webcam. It might be a good mobile webcam. So yeah, the 5K video is really good. But I thought we would do a little history. I'm gonna wait until 7 o'clock before I do that. What's up, man? Is that Ron Lockwood? Is the stabilization? So first, we're gonna pop that up. What's up, man? Good to see you in the chat. So Brent Newman said, is the stabilization supposed to be better than the prior models? Yes. The stabilization, so the last model had Hypersmooth 2.0 and this has Hypersmooth 3.0. So it's 1.0 better. There's all excuse me, I'm gonna need to get some water. Ever since I was sick a couple weeks ago, I have not recovered. There's still a bunch of junk in my lungs. I don't think it's COVID, but it tickles my throat. But so yeah, there is They've even come out with a modular lens system on this one, which is awesome. So here's the 9. Oops. With Phew. So they've added let's put that over my face. Maybe it'll focus in. So the lens comes off this time, and they've got modular lenses. So I'm really excited about that. They've added a max lens mod. Now I don't know if this is the actual GoPro Max, and that's what the lens looks like on it. They call it a Max mod. I don't know if Max is just their way of saying extra, because they have like a Super View in the past, and Max is one of their words they use. But the Max mod updates the field of view. So it's like putting a wide-angle lens on your camera. So with that, there's supposed to be even extra smoothness to go with that. They've also added a one of the filming modes in there is a horizontal mode, so it will automatically find the horizon, which adds to the smoothness. I've always enjoyed kind of the FPV type smoothness from the GoPro cameras. But yeah, so it's about time they added removable lenses. You've been able to remove lenses in the past with screws. You know, they've innovated over the years, and it's nice to see that they're still innovating. So I guess it's time to talk about. I'm going to go through the history of the GoPro a little bit. This isn't like a huge history lesson, but I wanted to just throw up some pictures and see if they spark any, if you remember any of these. So, where to start? I am going to put this image up on the screen. All right, so so what you're looking at here is kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is the innovation from the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There was a Hero 5 that's not in this picture, but I thought this was a great representation of kind of how the cameras have come along. So let's see if you can get my... There you go. So if you look at this, this is the Hero 1. The 4 cameras in the background, you had to have... They were not waterproof cameras. Okay? So the first 4 Heroes, you had to have a clamshell, like a plastic case, to go over them. And they made multiple plastic cases. There was the one that usually came with it was the waterproof version. And then you could buy an extra case that was called a skeleton. And what the skeleton would do is it would let you, it would let the camera breathe. It had a bunch of cutouts in it, so the camera wouldn't overheat in the sun. And you also had the ability to, and it would sound better. All the microphones are on the cameras, and they would have like, the sound would be muffled. You would hear a lot of sound whenever the case would hit like the little screw on the tripod. You'd hear that wiggle, and there's all kinds of stuff going on with the original Hero. and these pretty much these first four. But I want you to look at, there are a lot of things that didn't change. One of the things that they started out with was they had a shutter button and a mode button. Okay? Mode button is also the power button, so you push this button, turn it on, hit that button on top to record. That's one of the things that's been fundamental from the beginning. They've always had this big LED so that you could see what was going on. And the 4 is the first time that they turned the LED into these slits. Okay? First two Heroes, the Hero and the Hero 2, were like this kind of beige-ish gray color. A lot of computers looked like that back then. Computer monitors were that shade. And they didn't have, they had this big wide-angle lens. And then on the second one, the only real change from the looks of them is the LED got bigger, and the lens was sticking out this time. And I think you would get some of this white edge on your video sometimes, and so they moved to black, which was a lot less noticeable. There was an LED on top. There was used to be, pretty sure there was LED on the back. Not completely sure about that because it's been a long time. So yeah. Then in Hero 3, I think Hero 3 is when they started coming out with different versions of the GoPro. Because you can see right here, this is the Hero 3 Plus. So they had a Hero 3, they had a Hero 3 Plus, and I don't remember if they introduced like the black and the silver editions then or not. And then the Hero 4 was the first time that they, kind of started really reinventing how things worked and how things looked. So they took these LEDs off and put them on the side here, and I remember, if I remember correctly, this is when they introduced the remote control as well. And then this is the Hero Session. I have this is the Session 5, but Hero 4 is when they introduced the Session. In my opinion, the Hero 4 Session was the best move they ever could have made. I still think this is one of the best action camera form factors there is. It's tiny. It's a cube, so no matter how you mount it, you can turn it this way, and you can have the camera sideways, and so you can stick it out the side. You can hang it upside down. Because of its shape, you can put it different areas. I have my son's guitar recital I filmed with this, and I turned the LEDs off of the camera. I put the camera on stage on the piano, and I just hit record, and I recorded like an hour and a half, however long the recital was, and I had a great view, and nobody knew my camera was on stage because it was kind of like a spy camera. Just wonderful form factor. They did it twice, and then and this was completely waterproof. This was the first GoPro camera that was waterproof without a case. Just when they came out with the GoPro Session, that was kind of my favorite innovation that they've made. And then people didn't like the change, so they didn't come out with any more. But I'll see FPV pilots rage about this camera because it's so tiny. It doesn't weigh, it weighs less than the other GoPros. It's just a wonderful form factor for FPV drones and stuff like that. So I really wish GoPro would come out with a better version of this. When I drove Uber, I hid this in my dashboard, and I would just record while I drove Uber, so that people wouldn't attack me, or if they did attack me, I'd have it. So let's go to the next thing. How many of you guys remember this? I don't know if I can get this bigger or not. I probably can't. But this is a good visual of the side of the GoPro and the backpacks. Who had the GoPros with backpacks on them? The backpacks, you could add a battery. There was a battery backpack. And then there was a screen backpack, because the original GoPros didn't have screens on them. So, and then this gives you kind of a representation of, here's a headphone jack, HD TV out. I'm not even sure what that jack is. That might be proprietary. I can't remember. It's funny, it even has the resolutions on there. So you had to click a number to figure out what resolution. That's funny. And then micro USB. This is, the Hero 3 is when the remote control came out. So the GoPro Hero 3, I wanted to show you the resolutions of the GoPro Hero 3. I thought this was a cool image. This was the marketing material. And they had the black edition. So they had the black edition on the Hero 3. So I take that back. But the white edition had a 5 megapixel camera and would shoot 1080p. The black edition had a 12 megapixel camera, 12 megapixel camera, and would shoot 1080 60 frames per second. And it came with the Wi-Fi remote. I have a remote somewhere. Don't remember where it is. But I have the original remote that came with my Hero 3. I sold the Hero 3, but I kept the remote because I knew I was going to be able to use it later. But prices haven't changed much. $399 price point. This is what was available then. And this is the cage that went around the GoPros. The plastic cage that goes over it. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then the 4, I showed you the 4 session and the GoPro 4. These were the first GoPros that were waterproof without a case, and were a different color. These are the first ones that were black or gray, charcoal. And then Brent brought up the GoPro Karma debacle. Excuse me. So the GoPro Karma came out a week before the DJI Mavic Pro came out. And the reason I know that is because I pre-ordered the Karma. I'm going to put this question up. So, Brent Newman asks, have they made the menu navigation less anger-inducing since the GoPro 3? Yes. I'm trying to remember when they changed it the most. I would say they changed it whenever they added screens to the actual camera. So I want to say this guy. You know, that was when they added the tagging. You know, if you did something awesome, you could hit the tag button and it would save like your tag or whatever. And then when the GoPro Karma came out, it was definitely a better user experience. And while we're talking about the menu system, we can talk about the DJI Osmo Action. So, this is not a GoPro. This is the DJI Osmo Action. This is the first action camera that had a screen on the front. Everybody else has copied this, but I want to point out that this camera, besides the screen on the front, was a straight ripoff from GoPro. It definitely has some ingenuity in it, but when this camera came out, the battery was in the same place, the buttons were pretty much in the same place. I mean, it was the same size, it had the same mounts. Like, when this camera came out, this camera is actually a really good action camera. It's solid, it's built correctly. This is actually the best camera that DJI's come out with, period. And some might argue that the DJI Osmo Pocket or the DJI Osmos are better, but to me, the DJI Osmo Action was the first one that they got right. The other Osmos were just kind of meh. The gimbals are great, but the cameras weren't that good. So that's kind of why my joke is always the best camera that DJI makes is the iPhone, because you can put it on the Osmo Mobile, which we'll be doing a review on that soon as well. But the Karma was the next piece of ingenuity that came out of GoPro that I thought was amazing. I loved everything about it until I saw these videos of people using it and the drone wouldn't fly very well. Batteries were falling out of the drone and the drone was falling out of the sky. Oops. But I thought what was amazing about it was you had a drone with a handheld gimbal in it and one of the best 4K cameras you could get. So this was modular, guys. This was something that, all these different pieces did different things, and depending on how you put it together is how it would work. This GoPro Karma grip, and I wish I could find it. I really wish I could find it. I thought I knew where it was, but it's probably in a drawer somewhere. But the GoPro Karma grip I thought was great. You had a camera that was already really smooth, and then you had a gimbal that fit it perfectly. You could zoom, and it's hard to see on here. Oh, maybe that's a better picture. So here you can see the controls are a lot like the remote control. Just great. And then it fits in the drone. The drone folds up. It was like the first folding drone. And then a week later, I think it was like 2 or 3 days, DJI came out with the Osmo, or DJI came out with the Mavic Pro, and it kind of revolutionized the industry. It was like, holy crap, we have a folding drone that can kind of fit in your backpack. Before that they had the Phantoms, which were big, and then the Inspire, and all those drones were just huge. And then you had this tiny little DJI Osmo. Dang it. DJI Mavic. I keep messing that up. So, anyway, the Karma, in my opinion, was great ingenuity. The controller was awesome. Everybody loved this controller. This little clamshell controller with the screen in it. I mean, just all kinds of ingenuity here. but was kind of a big fail. So, yeah. So let's talk about. I want to go from. Can't go from here. I wish I still had my 6 because that would be a good representation. The 6 didn't have. Was a lot like the 5, 6, and 7 all kind of look the same. And DJI Osmo Action copied those. Okay, so because you still have this, you have the lens over here. You have the frame. You've got the body style. Like a lot of the 5, 6, and 7 influenced this design. The two things from here that got to here is the removable lens. Okay, you can remove that lens, and you've got a front-facing screen. This camera can only shoot 4K, and it's by DJI. This camera was the first. This is the 7. This is the Hero 7, and it was the first GoPro camera that introduced mods. So, right here we have the media mod. So this is what the camera looks like. This one's been beat up. It kind of fell off a drone. But it was the first time that they took their proprietary, their little fingers that stick out of the bottom. They added those, so you don't need a case at all to attach this camera. And then they added these mods. Slide in. And add a bunch of goodness to it. So, in order to hook a microphone up to a lot of the other GoPros, you had to have this big dongle that kind of hung off of your stuff. Well, this media mod has the ability. It gives you an HDMI cable, gives you an HDMI input, microphone input, gives you a hot shoe, and then gives you directional microphones. So this. You can tell it which microphone to use. So if you're pointing at something and you want to talk into this microphone, you can. There's microphones over here on the side. There's a microphone on the front. So it adds better microphones. And the media mod for the Hero 9 is supposed to be even better than this one. But what's frustrating is COVID-19 happened. So I bought the 7. And was, I was expecting a month or two to go by before I could get the media mod. It took me like maybe 6 or 7 months to get the media mod, and then the front-facing screen literally is coming out in the next couple days. Even though it was introduced kind of this time last year. So. I've already got it on pre-order and it's on its way, and I've confirmed that it will work with the 9, so I can move forward with that. But something that I forgot to tell you guys about. Another time that GoPro revolutionized the industry was when they came out with this guy. This is the Gopro Fusion. And people called it the Klondike bar. And Steven Drones has the GoPro 7. That's awesome. But this was their entrance into 360-degree cameras, and they treated their 360 camera like their action cameras. So it has the rubber texture. It's waterproof. I believe it's waterproof. It might not have been waterproof. I feel like it is though, to a tiny point. It had 3 microphones on the top, so it could figure out, it could get 360-degree sound. The video footage out of this camera was better than any other consumer camera that came out then. Okay? The only issue was that it took 10 times as long to render because they didn't have the rendering down yet. They even bought AutoPano, color. I don't remember which one's. AutoPano was the software, color was the company. They even bought color and used them to understand 360. People were, I forget what the name of it was called, but people would use the, they would use like 6 GoPros, put them all together. Let's see if I can find that real quick. I want to say it was like the Obsidian, the Omni. I thought it was called something else before that. Let's see. And my friend Trooper, he would actually, he actually had this rig. It's funny. This is a used GoPro Omni with Hero 4s in it. Okay. It comes with 6 Hero 4s, and it has an 8K max resolution. Okay, we just came out with the QCam 8K, which only has 2 lenses, and it can produce an 8K 360-degree video. This would take forever to render. And the Hero 4 was the first time that you could sync all the cameras with the remote control. Might have been the 3, but this one comes with the 4s. So there's that. And then I wanted to show you guys, it's not on there. This is another version of the a session version of that. So all of these can be, you can hit record on all of the cameras at the same time with the remote control, and then stop at the same time, and then you still have to stitch all those images together. But I thought, oh, that was going to be awesome. But so there's that. So GoPro's been kind of in the 360 industry for a little while, VR, but the Fusion is when they really hit the ground running. And then the Max came out after that. The Max came out after that, which is a smaller version. It's a lot faster render, but the video quality is just as good. So, yeah, that's it. So you guys want to see the 9? You guys want to see it in action? Here we go. I only got 3 people in here tonight. We might go for another 15 minutes, and then I might bounce, just because I've got some stuff in my life I got to deal with. But as always, there's a power button on the right. I'm going to put it over my face so it'll focus on it. And there you guys are. Check that out. Still focusing on my face. So, what I love about it is where they've gone further. Oops, sorry. Where they've gone further than the DJI Osmo Action is that the screen on the front and the back work at the same time, so you don't have to switch screens. That always drove me nuts about the DJI Osmo Action. So they can do that. The downside of this is, which really made me mad today, was that the screen on the front of the camera is the preview doesn't work on 5K video, so it can't record 5K video and show you that you're in frame or not. So you've got to kind of make sure you're in frame, don't move the camera at all, and hit the record button and then go for it. I'm sure it's got voice gestures too. I don't remember what the voice... So the question is it the biggest GoPro ever? Let's compare. So it seems a little bit bigger, but I mean, they seem pretty good. I'm trying to do this without touching it. It's definitely thicker. So if you put the backs together, that's how much more it sticks out. I look like I have really weird GoPro-y eyes. As far as the profile, I feel like they're the same. It just feels a little bit thicker. I know that the batteries are bigger. So there's that. The batteries are bigger. But I mean, it's not super big. Like, I just showed you that it was a little bit thicker, but I mean, it's still GoPro size. And I feel like GoPro's got smaller over time. So if you go back to that image, that was the original. By the time you added a screen to the back of it, it was a pretty big little GoPro. I want to say they were a little smaller than this, but way thicker. Alright, so way thicker. You know, you got to think like you've got two screens on this one. Something else they've added, this microphone thing here. There was a warning on their website that said, "This is not a door. Don't try to pull it. Don't try to open this." This is their new microphone. It's kind of, it pushes all the water out of the microphones. Kind of what they did was they have two openings in it, so air can go in one side and water can come out of the other side. Whereas before they just had one little hole, and the surface tension of the water would keep the water in it longer. So hopefully, I'm going to the beach in a couple weeks, so hopefully we will be able to see what this is like in the ocean, at least the swimming pool. So that's it. Something else that's awesome is this is the first GoPro that comes with its own carrying case. So that's new. It's a pretty simple case. It's got a place for the GoPro, got a place for some mounts. But I thought that was really cool. The unboxing, I haven't unboxed it yet. I need to put it. I've decided I'm not really going to do an unboxing. I'm just going to kind of put the camera in its box and then open it up so you guys can see what's in it, because I really wanted to take it out of the box this time. And by the time I took all the stickers off, it'll look pretty silly if I put all the fingerprints back on the camera and do some close-ups. But so Brett Newman has a great point that the old GoPro were way thicker after you put cases on them. So yeah, they definitely got thinner. So they got easier to deal with when they got rid of the big bulky case. I mean, the cases used to be like overly built, right? Like they were this hard clear plastic with these metal buttons that were springy that pushed the buttons on the camera, and I mean, they were just massive. And then they had this big, let me pull that. Yeah, let's pull that up. So they had this big massive ring around lens cover that you could take off with screws. That's what I was talking about, where you could take it off with screws. But these big silvery buttons and the big clasp on the top, just a lot going on that case. So they've shed some weight removing the case, and then in the 7 and the 8 have actually even removed the frame. So they're definitely smaller than they used to be. The 9 happens to be a little bit bigger than the 8. But that's the reason for that, is they've bumped up to 5K. So they're doing a lot more. Whereas they didn't change a lot in the other models. Like the 5, 6, and 7, like the stabilization got better. There were some upgrades, kind of some upgrades, but the 5's still a great camera. The 6 is a great camera. The 7's a great camera. But the 8 is where they changed everything up with the mods, and then the 9 they went up to 5K. They added a screen on the front, and they've added, that you can still use the mods that you had, minus the media case. So you have to get a new media mod, which is frustrating. But so that's where that's at. So what do you guys want to talk about now? I have upgraded my computer. We saw that last week. I've got a AMD Ryzen 9. I've got a GeoForce RTX 2080 Super. I've got 64 gigs of RAM, I think. Is that right? No, that's not right. I've got 32 gigs of RAM, but I've got 2 more slots, so I'm planning on getting up to 64 gigs of RAM. So DaVinci Resolve worked really, really well today. I posted a 1.5 minute video in 5K, and I believe it took 4 minutes to render. So 5K, it's going to take twice as long. So if I have a 20-minute video, it might take 40 minutes to render. So files keep getting bigger, and the computing power keeps getting more needed. So, yeah. I've decided that I finally got my computer. I've been focusing on upgrading my computer lately, so now I'm going to focus on Christmas time with my channel. So the GoPro is probably the last thing that I'm going to purchase besides the Quest. I'm probably going to get the Oculus Quest 2. But I'm going to start focusing on accessories, things that you can buy off of Amazon in my shop, things that will help you out, help others with, you know, filmmaking, travel video, all that good stuff. But I've decided to put kind of a cap on things that I'm going to buy, especially because Christmas is coming up and I'm going to have to buy Christmas presents for my kids and the wife. So it's all good. So Steven Jones says it looks good on his PC. Are you talking about? I think Steve's still talking about the 5K resolution on the GoPro video. I thought it looked great. The frustrating thing is that was such a tiny video. I think it maybe took an hour and a half to get to 5K on YouTube. Like it's something that's really frustrating. The bigger the video that I upload, the longer it takes for YouTube to process it. So, you know, telling you guys what we're going to talk about tonight, I don't want to wait on that. I want you guys to see the video and, you know, let you guys know, like a trailer, so you guys know what we're going to talk about in the live stream. If I do that and then I wait a whole hour for it to render, then that kind of gets frustrating. When I uploaded it and I published it, it was only showing up at 320 for me, which looks like crap. And then finally got up to 720, but HD took forever for HD to process. And then I think it skipped for me straight from 1080 to 5K. I don't even remember it rendering at 4K, but when I got up to 5K, I was like, wow, that looks really good. So, well, we've been going at it for an hour now, and I am going to call it a night. But I hope you guys liked this live stream. Hopefully it worked out in 1080 and you guys could see it in a good quality. I uploaded my my branding, my new, well, they're not new, they're the same videos, but I uploaded the 1080 version of them. So I'm going to show the outro at the end of this video, but I think it's compressed, but I'm not sure. But yeah, hope you guys like this video. Please like, subscribe to my channel, click on the bell for notifications of when I put out more videos about the GoPro Hero 9, action cameras, drones, and regular cameras, 360 cameras, and live streaming. Yeah, hope you stick around. See you on the next video, guys. Peace out.